Hey guys, welcome to Planning with Crystal. Today's video is going to be all about the Liberty Beauty Advent Calendar for 2025. If you are new here, I'm Crystal and I make videos about all kinds of things, including beauty and especially Advent calendars. I've been making these videos for years. I am a customer. I have no secret insider details, but what I can do is talk about an Advent calendar because, as I said, I've been doing it for years. So if you're watching this, you've not lost a few months. It is still July, but for some reason, Liberty are ahead of pretty much every other retailer and have released their Advent calendar. So it's on pre-order now. There'll be a link in the description box if you're interested in doing that. And in today's video, we're going to talk about everything in the Advent calendar and I'll let you know my thoughts. So I'll also link everything below if you want to check out any of the individual items in any more detail. Hopefully that'll help you to decide if this is the calendar for you. So this one retails for £275. However, if you are a Beauty Drop member, which I am, I have been since it started years ago, I'll put a video here if you don't know what that is, you get a £25 discount. So you get the calendar for £250. The Advent calendar this year is worth £1,245, so still a really good value, and we get 30 items. Interestingly, it says 26 products are exclusive to the Liberty Beauty Advent calendar. So I'm thinking, does that mean they're literally not going to appear in any other Advent calendar? Because if that's true, that's a pretty good selling point. Because if you've watched me unbox these Advent calendars, sometimes they can have really similar content or a number of items will appear in like every beauty advent calendar that year. So that's interesting. That's a really interesting point. Another thing I can tell you is it comes in the most beautiful like drawstring bag. It is the Liberty Ianthe print. I believe that's how you say it. I haven't yet decided what I'm going to do with this bag because I have pre-ordered the calendar and I will unbox it when it arrives, but that won't be till like late August. So it does say if you pre-order it now, your calendar should be delivered between the 20th and the 29th of August. So expect an unboxing around that time from me. If you're interested, do subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications to be notified when I post that video. Also this year, 15 of the calendars will contain a golden ticket which will entitle you to £1,000 to spend at Liberty. Wouldn't that just be the best thing ever? I'm sure that won't happen to me, but there'll be 15 lucky people there who will be opening up that golden ticket and getting £1,000 to spend at Liberty, imagine. In terms of shipping and where it ships to, I'm afraid I don't know. It doesn't seem to tell you on the website. If you do click the link, add it to basket, go to checkout, then whatever country you're in, it should tell you if they're going to ship to you. I can't see that because I'm in the UK, so afraid I can't help with that, but do add it to basket and hopefully it will then tell you. Okay, so we're going to get into the contents of the calendar. I've used some of the products before, some I haven't. We'll chat through as we go. So the first thing I can see is the Sisley Paris Floral Toning Lotion 100ml. Now, they're calling this a full size. I'd say it's a travel size because on the Sisley website, they have a travel size, which is 100ml. They call it a travel size and it's £57. So I'm taking this whole full size to mean you can buy it in that size as opposed to it actually being a full size. So this is used to remove traces of makeup and cleanse the skin. It has got hydrolats, whatever that means, of rose, cornflower and witch hazel, which is known for their soothing and softening properties, and it's supposed to be really good for dry, sensitive skin. So it's going to tone, soothe and prepare your skin for your daily skincare regime. This does get good reviews and seems to be really suitable for sensitive skin, so hopefully it'll be suitable for all of us as like a nice luxurious toner. I have used Sisley products before. I feel like I've used a different one of their toners and it was very good. The problem is their products are expensive, and that's one of the great things about an advent calendar. It's that opportunity to try products that you just wouldn't be able to go out and buy, if you know what I mean, or you probably wouldn't spend that much money on. The next product is the Emma Lewisham Skin Reset Face Serum. This is a full-size 30ml worth £85. This has appeared in a Liberty Beauty Drop box before and it's pretty good. It's basically, as the name would suggest, a face serum. It's described as smoothing. It leaves your skin smoother, healthier, more even, more radiant. It's supposed to improve the appearance of pigmentation and uneven skin tone. And it's formulated with vitamin C, niacinamide, jojoba seed oil, apricot kernel oil, hyaluronic acid, lemon balm extract, and grapeseed oil. It also comes in a refillable jar. So that container, if you like it, you can just buy a refill instead of having to buy the whole product again, which is obviously a lot more friendly to the environment and also is cheaper than buying the whole product again. Also, obviously, less wasteful. The next product I was really excited to see here, and I have one here. It is the La Mer the Lip Balm. So this is mine, so you'll see it's got like a bit of a smudge on it. I love this lip balm. This is my partially used one. has like a minty scent. This is the best lip balm ever, ever, ever. And I say this is a bit of a lip balm aficionado. I have like a million lip balms. This is the best. It genuinely is. In last year's advent calendars, we got a lot of this, which was the lip volumizer, sorry, from La Mer. This is still better. The lip balm is better. So it retails for £62. It's also my most expensive lip balm. So I use this almost like for special occasions. Like I'll just pop it on. And what I love about it is it leaves my lips so soft and moisturized for literally hours. And they just look in great condition. And it lasts hours. That's what I love about it. Most lip balms, I find, last for a short time. And then you need to keep reapplying it. This one you don't need to reapply as much, which is good because it's like super expensive. It's £62, like I said, for a full size, which is 9 gram, and we get that size in our calendar. It's enriched with algae extract, aloe, eucalyptus leaf oil, niacin and sesame seed oil. It's infused with the brand's Miracle Broth and leaves your lips smooth, hydrated, softened, restored and strengthened. Sorry, I'm like doing this in a weird way, but I was trying to show you what it looks like. But it kind of looks a little bit understated with that La Mer there on the top. It's very reflective as well. Anyway, super, super excited to learn I'll be getting another one of those. Next, we get a full-size eye cream from Augustinus Bader. This is the Rich Eye Cream, 15ml, worth £160. Now I can see it's usually pictured with a spatula. You can't see that on the pictures that Liberty have put together for the calendar. So I assume we're not getting the spatula. Not like the spatula's the whole thing, but it's just something I noticed. Now this also gets really good reviews. Augustinus Bader products are generally very good. They're just really expensive. It's nice to see we're not getting the Rich Cream and we're getting the eye cream, which is going to be a new one to me. It leaves skin smoothed, hydrated, replenished and rejuvenated. It reduces the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. It's got obviously the TFCH, which is exclusive to Augustinus Bader. It's also got meadowfoam seed oil. It's got hyaluronic acid, mushroom stem extracts, rice protein and jojoba seed oil. And at £160 for a full size, I am expecting that to be a rather good eye cream. Then we are into the first fragrance on the listing. There is definitely more than one. This is the Ex Nihilo Blue Talisman Eau de Parfum, and this is in a 7.5ml travel size. And I'm working that out because you can actually buy 5 of this size for £120, and that makes this one worth £24. It has top notes of bergamot, ginger, mandarin and pear, heart notes of orange blossom and Georgie wood, and base notes of Akit Garlerwood, musks and ambro fix. So I'm kind of expecting it to be maybe a little bit smoky, spicy, woody, but it's obviously hard to tell until you actually smell it. And I find fragrance so difficult to describe anyway. I think it smells different to different people. But that's the first of a number of fragrances. And then we get our first makeup product. This is by Trinity London, and it's the Sheer Shimmer Lip to Cheek in Violin, which is described as a natural rosebud shimmer. It's a full size 4 gram and it retails for £26. It says a dewy wash of instant iridescent to lips and cheeks, perfect on its own or as a finishing touch. And this looks like quite a subtle, everyday wearable colour. I think this is something in particular that I would probably have on my cheeks, but I like the idea of lips and cheeks kind of matching together, so that looks pretty good. Then our next fragrance is a travel size Liberty fragrance, so it's the Liberty LBTY range, and this one is Zephyrine, which I think we've had maybe a sample of before. It's an eau de parfum in an 8ml size, like I said, travel size, and this retails for £45. The fragrance profile of this is lush, woody and fig. Do with that as you will. Top notes are fig nature prints, cypress and clove. Heart notes are rose, centrifolia, patchouli and benzone, and the dry down is suede, vetiver and cedarwood, which sounds quite nice. Then we have another colour product. This one is by Lisa Eldridge. I really enjoyed a lot of Lisa Eldridge products I have tried. I don't think I've tried the eyeliner though. This is the Beauty Seamless Glide Eye Pencil in Ground Coffee, which is like a nice natural dark brown. It's a 1.2 gram full size and that retails for £24. It says it's a richly pigmented colour, which it does look to be. It says it's buildable and blendable and creates a range of effects. It's got up to 16 hours of wear and is waterproof and resistant to fading and smudging. Now that's a bold claim because like a pencil type eyeliner. I personally find they smudge quite a lot, certainly on me. Sometimes they fade, and I don't know if I've ever had a waterproof one. So I'm intrigued to see how that performs, because like I said, the rest of the products I've tried from that brand have been really good, so I have high hopes for that. Then we have another fragrance. This one is by Matière Première, and it's the Vanilla Powder Eau de Parfum. Now this is in a 6ml size, which is kind of small, but it's kind of a strong, potent fragrance. It's really long lasting. The reviews suggest this, and it retails for £38 in that size. So although it's quite small, you shouldn't need a lot and it should last all day. It's described as a woody fragrance, with the main ingredient being Vanilla Absolute Madagascar. It's got fragrance notes of vanilla, Palo Santo oil, Ecuador, coconut powder, white musks, and it's housed in a travel-friendly glass vial. We received this in, I want to say, a Liberty edit a significant period of time ago, and it was tiny. It almost looks like a sample, but it's not. Like I said, you can buy it in that size. But yeah, that's another fragrance for the collection. Then from Jones Road. Now, Jones Road is Bobbi Brown's brand, if you're familiar with Bobbi Brown. The person, Bobbi Brown, who created Bobbi Brown, also created Jones Road. And in the advent calendar, we get the mascara in Pitch Black, which is described as a travel size, although I can't see it for sale anywhere in this size. It's a 2.7 gram, whereas a full size would be 8.5 gram, and the full size is £28. So it makes price per gram, this product's worth £8.89. So it says it leaves lashes fanned out, conditioned and fuller looking, enriched with vitamin E, and it's cruelty free. Reviews on this product range from it's amazing to it's terrible. So it sounds like one of those divisive mascaras where you're either going to love it or hate it. It may depend on what you're looking for in a mascara. Some people want a more noticeable look. Some people want it to be more natural. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I've not tried it. And like I said, the reviews are very mixed. So yeah, I mean, a mascara is a pretty staple product to have in an advent calendar. It's only a travel size, but I don't mind that because I do tend to switch up my mascara every few months when I'm using a mascara. I don't always, because sometimes I have a lash lift, etc. But I tend to switch them out quite regularly for hygiene reasons anyway. So I don't think I've ever used a whole tube of like a full size mascara. So it doesn't actually bother me it being a travel size because it'll probably last as long as a full size in terms of me needing to throw it away, if that makes sense. If you use it every single day, then perhaps you'd be better with a full size. But anyway, just my thoughts on that. It doesn't massively bother me for those reasons. Then we are into another fragrance. This one is from Bibi. I think we've had a Bibi fragrance in the Liberty Advent Calendar for the last few years. This one is Santal Beauty Eau de Parfum in a 10ml size. This one, again, I can't find for sale in this size. A full size is 100ml for £225, which price per ml would make this fragrance worth £22.50. It's a floral woody fragrance with top notes of Italian, lemon and saffron. The heart notes are violet, magnolia and bamboo, and the base notes are sandalwood, blonde woods and crisp amber. So this is definitely a good calendar if you want skincare and fragrance in particular. Not saying that's all that's in there, it's not, but just as we're going through, it's just things that are kind of coming to my mind. It's very heavy on the skincare and fragrance. It usually is from Liberty, so they're pretty much staying on track with that. The next product is by Mirror Water, and it's their Smooth Body Oil in a 50ml travel size, worth £27. I've never used this product, but it's another one that I'm intrigued to try out. It says it leaves skin softened, smooth, conditioned and hydrated. It improves the appearance of dry skin, and it's enriched with grapeseed oil, marula oil, camellia oil and vetiver root. Obviously it's particularly hydrating if you apply when your skin is still damp from the shower. It kind of locks the moisture in and it looks like it's going to leave your skin looking kind of nice and glowy, but obviously I don't know until I use it, but I'm excited to give that a try. Then from Davines, we have the Natural Tech Nourishing Shampoo in a 100ml size, which is a travel size. It retails for £13.75. It seems to only be available in that size on the Davines website. It is described as a rich lather sulfate free shampoo, which is no mean feat because a lot of sulfate free shampoos don't lather as well. It nourishes the dry scalp and dry, brittle or damaged hair with its powerful vegetal keratin, promoting 360-degree protection and boosting reparation. I have used a few products from that brand, Davines. In fact, I didn't know it was called Davines until my hairdresser described it as that. And I haven't used this particular one, but I've used some from the other ranges and quite liked it. So I am excited to try it. Again, it would have been nice to have been a full size, but it's a travel size. We get a conditioner to go with that, but from a different brand. Or if I say conditioner, it's a conditioning treatment. It's Elasticizer from Philip Kingsley. The deep conditioning treatment in a 75ml size, which retails for £21. This is a pretty well-known product, and I think this is the type of product that will appear in multiple advent calendars. So this one, it says, leaves the hair intensely moisturised, nourished, smooth, soft and shiny, reduces breakage, tangles and frizz, and improves the appearance of dry, dehydrated strands. It's enriched with hydrolyzed elastine, castor oil, olive oil and glycerin. So this is the one that you would apply to damp hair before you shampoo it and leave on for a minimum of 20 minutes. You can leave it on for much longer overnight if you want, and it does do a good job of conditioning the hair and stuff. I just find it's one of those products to use when you've actually got the time to faff, if you know what I mean. So you've actually got time to leave it on your hair. So maybe a day when you're not going anywhere and you can just leave it on for a bit before you wash it off. But it's an extra step to remember to do and to allow that at least 20 minutes. I don't know if anyone else finds that, but that's what sometimes stops me using those types of products. Then another perfume. This one is from Verden Parfumerie. Again, we usually get a perfume or a fragrance from this brand in the Liberty Advent Calendar. This one is Sparkling Joe. I don't know if I've smelt this one. So Sparkling Joe is described as kind of representing a night out type of fragrance. I don't mean like what you'd smell like on a night out, but like a sparkling fragrance, whatever that means, like imagining a sparkly night out. So the top notes are champagne, bergamot and juniper. The heart notes are William pear, fresh ginger and ambrette. And the base notes are musk, oakwood and ambergris. So particularly those kind of top and heart notes sync very well with what I expect that fragrance to smell like. So it'll be interesting, but it sounds quite fun and effervescent. So it sounds like the fragrances that we have in this calendar are quite different from each other, which is good. Then from Verden, we get the Nocturne Magnesium Night Balm in a 75ml, and this is described as a full-size product. I'm assuming this is a new product. Obviously, they're releasing the information in July. The calendar is going to start shipping, like I said, at the end of August for pre-orders, and then I guess it'll keep shipping until it sells out. But I'm guessing this product hasn't launched yet because it isn't available anywhere. Now, obviously, magnesium, if you're not aware, is great for helping you sleep. And there are a lot of products on the market with magnesium in that you would massage sort of into your feet or into your skin to get the magnesium into your system. So I'm going to guess it's something like that. Verden is another brand that appears quite a lot in the advent calendar, but not this specific product. So it sounds like it's something brand new, so that's fun, but no pictures to share because, like I said, it kind of doesn't exist from what I can see. Next, from Dermalogica, this is another well-known, kind of well-loved product. It's their daily microfoliant in the 13-gram travel size that retails for £18. So this is basically a white powder. It's really good, actually. It's an interesting product that just works really well. So what you do is you dampen your hands, wet your hands. Then you would pour out some of the powder. I think they say like a teaspoon. And then what you do is, as you rub this powder between your hands, it starts to create this foam. And then you put the foam onto your face, and essentially the powder activates on contact with water, and it does a chemical exfoliation. So it feels like a foam, but once you leave it on your skin for that minute, it actually does do some exfoliation. And you can tell it's done it because when you rinse it off, your skin just feels so kind of smooth and even. Really nice. It's formulated with papain, salicylic acid, rice enzymes, green tea, ginkgo and colloidal oatmeal. It's also quite gentle if you've got sensitive skin, and it's vegan and cruelty-free as well. So happy to see that in there. Then from Charlotte Mensah, we've got the Manchetti Oil Conditioner. So I guess this is the conditioner. We've had the shampoo, we've had a conditioning treatment. This is our actual conditioner. It's in a 50ml travel size. It retails for £16. Now, looking at the website for this product, the brand, if you like, it's not just a conditioner. You can also add water to the product, put it in a spray bottle and use it as a leave-in mist. And you can also add their oil to it to make it into a hair mask, or any oil really. And then it talks about if you use it as a mask, using some heat with it as well, but that may or may not counteract the treatment you're doing. I'll leave that up to you. But it is formulated for dehydrated, malnourished and damaged hair. It's described as a rich and creamy conditioner that leaves your hair feeling instantly healthier and more manageable. The wheat protein helps to strengthen the hair while smoothing shea butter seals in hydration. Again, I think we may have had this in a Liberty Beauty drop box, but in a smaller size. I don't know if it was the exact product, but definitely we've had products from this brand before and they seem pretty good. It's also got a blend of nourishing oils like tangerine, citrus lemon and olive fruit, which infuse with your hair with essential moisture to promote growth and soften hair without weighing it down. As usual, descriptions of products are just going to do it all, aren't they? So there you go, you get that conditioner. Then we get a full-size skincare product from Paula's Choice. This is the 10% azelaic acid booster in a 30ml size worth £42. Azelaic acid, this product in particular, is great at just making your skin look a bit brighter, a bit more radiant, a bit like vitamin C does, but almost a little bit more. I quite like this ingredient. This particular one is formulated with salicylic acid as well as azelaic acid and endosine. It helps to fade brown spots, fights breakouts, and it's a great alternative if you are sensitive to something like benzoyl peroxide, because in addition to that brightening and things, it stops you getting as many breakouts and things like that. Next, from Votary, another brand that regularly appears in this calendar, we get the Super Renewal Serum Retinol Alternative in a 30ml full size worth £85. I don't know if we've had this exact product before in the calendar, but I've definitely received it in some advent calendar, I'm sure, at some point. It says it leaves the skin soothed, nourished, toned and radiant, reduces the appearance of wrinkles and fine lines, stimulates collagen production, combats photoaging, and it's enriched with bakuchiol, hyaluronic acid and sibylline. Now, my skin, for some reason, doesn't do well with Votary products. I don't know why that is, but I don't use them anymore because I don't think they work for my skin. They obviously work for some people, it's a fairly popular brand, but my skin does not get on with this brand. So unfortunately that I don't think I'll be using. Then we get another colour product. This is from Trish McAvoy and it's the Sheer Lip Colour in Mulberry. It's in a 3.5 gram full size and it retails for £22. Now when you look at the colour of this in the actual packaging, it looks like it's going to be this super dark purple, but when you actually look at pictures of it on the, particularly on the brand website, it's actually quite a sheer buildable colour. So it can be anything from a sort of natural almost pink up to a bit of a darker colour. So it is buildable, it is wearable, because when I first saw an image of the lipstick, I was like, whoa, that's super dark. Like, that's not going to work for a lot of people because not everyone feels comfortable in a really bold lip. So I'm pleased to see actually it's buildable and therefore a little bit more usable for everyone. Because I imagine when you're trying to put together items for an advent calendar, you're trying to choose items that are going to suit most people and most skin tones and not something that's going to be really divisive that people aren't going to use. I imagine that's what they're thinking. So yeah, it's actually a lot less scary when you look at it in detail. The next product is by DS and Durga and it's the I Don't Know What Eau de Parfum. I've had this before again in various edits and things. This one is a 7.5ml. Now, a travel size would be 10ml, so it's actually smaller than the travel size. A 10ml travel size retails for £70, making this one worth price per ml based on that about £52.50, so it's quite a pricey fragrance. Now, this is one of those fragrances that is sort of super hard to describe. As the name might suggest, I don't know what. Even the brand doesn't know what it is, I'm sure they do. But it's an unusual fragrance. One of those I think that, you know, really works for certain people and then people are like, ooh, what are you wearing? It's one of those kind of fragrances. So the top note is bergamot essence. The heart notes is ISO E Super, which is what kind of comes into contact, I think, with your skin and creates that unusual scent. Vetiver acetate and base notes of sevitone, versantal and ambrox super. So a bit of an interesting one. The next fragrance is by Vireo, and I've realised I actually already have this. So I can talk to you a little bit more about this fragrance. So it's called The Sixth. Now, Vireo is an interesting brand because their fragrances are just quite unusual. So I actually got this one. This is a 7.5ml, I think. Yeah, 7.5ml version of the fragrance. But in the calendar it says we get a 10ml one. So a little bit bigger than this. Now this one is described as having top notes of juniper berry oil, angelica root oil, gentian absolute and wormwood oil. It's got heart notes of fennel oil, apple, rosemary oil, peppermint oil, basil oil, and base notes of oak wood extract, oak moss absolute, patchouli oil, fir balsam absolute, and cedarwood oil. It is a very unusual fragrance. When I first applied it to my skin, I was like, oh, I do not like this at all. And then about 30 seconds later, I was like, oh, actually, I do think it almost has that kind of foresty scent to it. There's something in there that's doing that. Maybe it's the oak moss or the fir balsam. It almost will smell a bit fir tree, if you know what I mean, but in a nice way. And you do get that, you get different bits depending on when you smell it. Like I'll move my arms around and I can smell the apple, I can smell the bit from the almost fir tree, and I can smell like different things. And it has a little bit of something sitting behind it that gives it almost like a peppery scent, which I don't know if I like the peppery bit as much, but overall, I actually really like this fragrance. Now, a full size of this would be £165 for 50ml, so 10ml is worth about £33, because like I said, I don't think you can buy it in that size. Instead, they sell sets of the 7.5ml ones, which is like the size I've got here. This, by the way, is a little spray, and it came in one of the recent Cult Beauty fragrance edits. I don't know if you saw that video, but actually, this is really, really good. And I really like it, and it's really unusual and different from anything else, so I'm happy to have rediscovered it as a result of finding out it was in the calendar and digging it out of my collection. Next, from Zellens, we have the Melatonin B12 Overnight Repair Mask in a 50ml full size worth £65. It's enhanced with vitamin B12 and a powerful blend of restorative ingredients. This sublime mask, this is the brand's description of course, delivers intense moisture to help maximise the skin's nocturnal night repair and reduce visible signs of skin ageing, fatigue and stress. Awake with skin that appears supple, smoother and more radiant. So like I said, it retails for £65. It seems very much like an overnight sort of moisturiser, mask, whatever you want to call it, the last step in your overnight routine. Reviews suggest it's not going to change your life, but it's nice and moisturising and does do a good job of kind of moisturising your skin overnight. Then from the brand Maria Neela, which is a hair care brand, we get the True Soft Argan Oil in a 30ml size, which is retails for £16. It says it leaves the hair moisturised, smooth, soft and strengthened, reduces frizz, has a flowery scent with fragrance notes of vanilla, rose and jasmine, and it's enriched with argan oil, rapeseed oil and abyssinian oil. It's vegan friendly and cruelty free. A pretty affordable hair care brand that seems to be pretty good. I mean, reviews for this particular product say that, you know, if you get those like kind of crispy ends, which I definitely do regardless of how many products and oils I put on my hair, people have said this like really makes a difference. So it sounds like it might be what I didn't know I needed. Another fragrance next, and this one is from Granado. We had a fragrance from this brand in one of the Beauty Drop boxes. I didn't particularly like it, to be fair, but it was a different fragrance scent, so I guess it smells different to what this one is. This one is called Esplendor. Now we get it in a 25ml size, which sounds like a travel size, but again, struggling to see it available anywhere in that size unless it's in a set or something. Now a full size is 75ml of fragrance for £125, making this worth £41.66 price per mil. It's got top notes of lily, freesia and peony. It's got heart notes of rose, muguet and benzoin, and base notes of vanilla, amber and cashmere. So another scent for our collection. I do think scents are a nice thing to receive in an advent calendar, and obviously it's difficult because we all like different scents, so the chances are that most people will like some of the scents and not all of them. But they make nice little stocking stuffers as well. If you think, oh, I don't like it but this person might, then it's a nice little stocking stuffer, isn't it? The next item is from Skin Cycles, and it's the Eye Matrix Mask. Now this intrigues me because it's a box of masks, and it appears from the listing that we get 4 of these masks. However, the box usually, like the sets that you would usually get if you were to buy them, would be a set of 5. So I'm not sure if we're getting 4 or 5. The listing says 4. Now individually the masks retail for £15. A box of 5 is £65. So we'll see how many we get. But these are under eye masks, and I have a obsession at the moment with under eye masks because I've just found like my eyes have been a little bit drier than usual under my eyes, and when I use an eye mask, it just leaves like the perfect base for like the perfect under eye concealing without any like cakiness or dryness or like clumping or anything. It just really, really preps them. I've not used these ones, but they do sound interesting. It's described as a high performance treatment enriched with the brand's proprietary TGHA technology, delivers nourishing agents to reduce puffiness, dark circles and smooth out wrinkles. It's infused with peptides, antioxidants, retinol, hydrolyzed collagen and pearl powder. And these apparently work hard to firm, brighten and illuminate the delicate skin around your eyes, leaving it refreshed and rejuvenated. So that sounds good to me. Then from a brand called Dr. David Jack, we have the Supernova Antioxidant Cleansing Gel. I'm not familiar with this brand at all. It almost looks like more of a kind of grooming brand, like tailored more towards men, just from the way the website looks and the packaging and stuff. I mean, skincare doesn't mind whose face it's on. I just notice it leans a bit more to the masculine, I would say. But this one is described as a revitalising supernova antioxidant gel that is meticulously crafted to prime the skin for daily environmental challenges and to gently eradicate daily impurities. It's infused with a synergistic blend of potent active antioxidants including vitamin C, salicylic acid, azelaic acid, niacinamide and hyaluronic acid. It is non-drying, non-foaming and offers unparalleled rejuvenation and hydration at a cellular level. It's fragrance and SLS free and it's a vegan formulation, and the travel size retails for £23 for the size we get in the advent calendar. Then from MZ Skin we get the Rich Moisturiser in a 10ml travel size. This retails for £30. It's a rich and replenishing daily moisturiser. It combines hydrating, brightening and skin firming actives to restore optimum moisture levels and reveal younger looking skin, and it's available for all skin types. Finally, from Larry King, we get a social life for your hair. This we've definitely received in advent calendars in years past. This is a 30ml size worth £12. It's described as a supercharged finishing cream for all hair types. It has a heavenly fragrance, it does smell pretty good, which is inspired by lazy days spent watching clouds blown away on a warm, balmy breeze. It comes in like a metal squeezy tube and it is great for the ends of your hair. It works to enhance definition, lend shine, control frizz and add texture. And that is the calendar. What do we think? Let me know in the comments what you think of this year's offering. What do we think of it going live in July? I mean, I'm just shocked, but I get it. From a marketing point of view and a sales point of view, I get it. If you release your calendar first and everybody goes for that calendar, then you've beat out the competition, haven't you? But I do think this sounds like a pretty good offering from Liberty. I've had it on and off over the last few years, and it's a certain type of calendar because, like I said, it tends to lean more towards skincare and fragrance, but I'm pleased to see there are other things in there as well. There's also makeup products, which I always quite enjoy in an advent calendar. Obviously, everybody wants different things, so you may or may not like that. It doesn't have a candle, which is unusual because most advent calendars would have a candle and Liberty would. But for me personally, I've got like a bazillion candles, so I'm not in the slightest bit bothered about that. And I actually like most of the items we've chosen in this calendar. So I'm pretty pleased about it. Like I said, I jumped on it, I ordered it, and I'm excited to unbox it at the end of August when it does arrive. So hopefully you'll join me and watch the actual unboxing, by which time I'll have forgotten everything I said in this video and won't remember what's coming in each drawer. So exciting times. So like I said, everything with links underneath if you do want to check any of it out in any more detail. And like I said, I've made videos of the beauty drop boxes and stuff. So if you want to see what that's all about, then you can have a look at that as well. Let me know in the comments what you think of this year's Liberty Advent Calendar. So I really hope you've enjoyed watching the video. I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. It lets me know you're enjoying the content I'm producing. And I'd love it if you subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell to be notified when my next video goes live. Like I said, I make a lot of beauty videos and particularly Advent Calendar videos around that time of year. So do consider subscribing and turning on notifications if you want to see that. You can also find me over on Instagram as well if you want to follow along there as well. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.